crypto, speed matters, but trust matters more.
At Caleb & Brown, you're never on your own. We connect you with your own personal broker and a 24/7 team,
Ready to help you buy, sell, or swap over 250 digital assets with one flat, transparent fee. No spreads, no slippage, no hidden costs. Get the best market prices through deep, aggregated liquidity executed by our professional trading desk. Your funds are secured with institutional-grade cold storage for total peace of mind. Track every move in real time with our intuitive client portal. Anywhere, anytime. Whether you're trading as an individual, trust, or business, we give you speed, security, and peace of mind. Thousands of clients in over 100 countries already trust Caleb & Brown. Visit calebandbrown.com and start your personalized crypto journey today.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Blockchain Brew Show. I just realized that I do not have my glass on me, so just count to 15. I'll be right back. Okay, here I am. So, let me turn this music down just a little bit. Okay, and let's dive into it. Today, guys, I have a very important show for you. We're going to be covering what I believe to be the reason for the dip that we're experiencing right now on Bitcoin, on altcoins. We're going to look at Bitcoin dominance. We're going to look at the way that altcoins reacted to this dip. We're going to look at, like I said, what I believe to be the reason for the dip. We're going to look at my targets for a bottom. And, keep in mind, as always, those are simply my targets. Doesn't mean I'm right, but we're going to look at my targets for a bottom. And we're going to look at why I believe this dip that we're experiencing right now is actually a very bullish buy signal, in my opinion. So let's dive on into it. First, I'm going to come over here to X, and we're going to jump into a little bit of news on the front end. And I'm going to, maybe just give me 1 second. I didn't have it pulled up. There we go. Okay, so I'm on X. Share screen. I am running by myself for a little bit tonight. T-Square was working some overtime. They have him doing some crazy shifts right now. So I did send him a link, so he is probably going to be joining in from his phone, but until then, I'm going to take it away by myself. So let's get into it. And what I want is Watch Your Guru. Let's see here. Okay, guys, so just in 7 hours ago, U.S. lawmakers asked SEC to implement President Trump's executive order opening the $12.5 trillion 401k retirement market to crypto. So go ahead and open that article there, share this tab instead. And before I read it, I'm going to put a poll in the chat. And what I want to know from you guys today is where we think the bottom is. I mean, I've got a pretty nice bottom right here, but I'm not talking about that. Let me see. Start a poll. Where is the Bitcoin bottom? Parentheses. Daily close. Option number 1. And remember, we're talking about a daily close here. So, keep in mind that today's close was at $112,000, $112,067. Yeah. And now I'm seeing $112,084. But anyways, so keep in mind that today's close was $112,000. So when I put 112 in the poll as a potential bottom, and you guys laugh at me, yes, I do know that it wicked. Okay, I am aware, but I'm talking about a daily close here. Jim Saul says hydration hit resistance and is falling too. Yeah, I didn't crack my beer. I gotta do that after I put the poll. So 112K. I'm gonna say 110.8K. I think that kind of gives away my choice. I'm also not saying it's going to get there, by the way, but add option 107K or $100,000 even. Start poll. There we go. So, guys, what do I have for you today? Oh, one thing I have for you today is T-Square's here. Let's go. Drop a plus one in the chat for T-Square hopping in to say hi to the Brew Crew, even when he's on his way back from a long shift. What's up, dude?
What is going on, guys? I'll show you my camera, but my eyes are invisible. You can't see them yet. I was just chiming in too. I posted in the Discord this morning that a potential bottom is what I saw was 108, $500. But I don't know. It's possible we bottom now. I'm looking at the 4-hour and the 12-hour, and we haven't. 4-hour looks good, but the question is the 4-hour. It's like 80% complete, and we haven't figured out if it's going to make the green dot or not. So we have to kind of wait and see to figure out really which way that's going to pull us, because that's going to have a very strong pull. And then I was reading today that CoinGlass said there was a $1.4 billion liquidation.
Yes.
And the CEO of Bybit said that he doesn't really like CoinGlass's data. He said that it's usually pretty skewed to the opposite direction. So he's thinking it's quite a bit higher liquidations. And then, it wasn't really anything besides market makers, just market making, because that's how they make money. I was listening to George talk about Asterd and how everybody was just longing it to the moon. But the problem is that most of the exchanges didn't have enough of it on hand to be able to pay it out. So eventually they just had to cause a liquidation to get paid. Otherwise, they're going to lose. So it's just kind of one of those things that what happened today is just a reset, and not to get worried, because we're still having the best September we've ever had, And we have $1.4 billion coming back into the market with the FTX payout at the
Yeah.
end of this month.
Well, Tether just, minted a bunch of new USDT, so that's going to flow into the market as well. But yeah, I do have what I believe to be a reason for the dip. We'll get into that here in a second. I'm going to crack my beer real quick. Jim Saul says, hydration hit resistance and is falling too. There should be a way to do technical analysis on blood alcohol level. So today I'm bringing you guys a sticky traffic from.
Did you pick that up? Is that new?
Yeah.
Did you get a case?
Yeah, I had it shipped. Sticky traffic from Monkish Brewing Company. This is a double dry hopped hazy double IPA coming in at 8.4% ABV. And guys, this is because Bitcoin was on its way to new all-time highs and it encountered some pretty sticky traffic on its way up. And it had to get caught up. Gross. It had to get caught up for a minute, It had to get stuck on struggle street for a minute, but no worries.
This market too, Trent's kind of untraditional, but it's also very stable because considering normally during a bull run we have commonly
What's up, Trade Intuition? Good to have you in here with us.
What's up, Joe? Normally bull markets we can see 30% dips no problem, and the fact that we aren't getting those 30% dips shows that there is a more stable, even though it doesn't feel like it right now.
Yeah. Here's our ASMR pop. And here's the poor as opposed to the rich. Got to redistribute that wealth a little bit,
Is there any logo or lore on the can?
I showed it. It's just a hop with like a green can art that says sticky traffic on it. I think it's got some engine parts and stuff like that. I see a muffler on there.
What's its ABV or alcohol percent?
8.4.
Ooh, that's pretty high.
Yeah, I drank a triple last night, 10.5 or something.
Oh, I wish we had triples here. I've been looking. It's so hard to find.
Yeah, man. So U.S. lawmakers ask SEC to open 401k retirement plans to crypto. U.S. lawmakers are asking the SEC to implement U.S. President Donald Trump's executive order opening the $12.5 trillion 401k retirement market to crypto investments. Back in August, Trump signed his executive order permitting crypto to be featured as an option for 401ks. And see, if we expand this past 401ks to 401(b)(s and state pensions and government retirements, guys, this $12.5 trillion number goes up. It doubles at least. So,
yeah.
In their letter, members of the Financial Services Committee praised the executive order for its potential to help Americans enhance their retirement savings and encourage the SEC to work with the Department of Labor to revise its regulations and guidance. The goal is to make these investments accessible to millions of Americans to prepare for retirement. What the Financial Services Committee had to say on crypto and 401k plans. We encourage, this is from the Senate, guys, the Financial Services Committee in the Senate. They said, we encourage the SEC to provide swift assistance. Guys, I'm going to visualize that for you. Hold on. You got to see this.
Oh, I see it.
Swift assistance. Wait. I'm gonna visualize this again for you, okay? Swift assistance. I don't know if your cameras. I don't know if you're actually seeing it, or I think you would have clowned me on that one.
Oh, my
went,
camera's working, but it's very miniature.
I went and grabbed my Taylor Swift book and said Swift assistance.
Oh, jeez. The only thing he needs assistance with is finding a man has a solid.
We encourage the SEC to provide swift assistance to the Secretary of Labor and to make any necessary revisions to its current regulations and guidance, the letter reads. We also request the SEC review bipartisan legislation being advanced in the 119th Congress concerning accredited investors. We are also hopeful that such actions will help the 90 million Americans who are currently restricted from investing in alternative assets to secure a dignified, comfortable retirement. The American dream, ladies and gentlemen. The executive order will direct the U.S. the U.S. Labor Department to reevaluate the guidance value around alternative investment assets. The upcoming plans will be subject to the Employee Retirement Income Security Act of 1974. The U.S. Labor Department will also be tasked with clarifying the federal government's position on allowing private allocation of funds via crypto in the 401k retirement plan. It also includes alternative holdings that are going to be a part of the executive order. Furthermore, the legislation also allows private equity, real estate, and other alternative assets to be part of the 401k plan. Private allocation of crypto and 401k retirement plans will boost the digital asset market, obviously, making it turn bullish. It doesn't have to make it turn bullish, it is bullish. Trump promised to make the United States the crypto capital of the world, emphasizing the need to embrace digital assets to drive economic growth and technological leadership. The latest executive order certainly pushes the U.S. in that direction. So, there you go. I'm going to flip on over to the charts, share this tab instead. So guys, there were today, now this is where I'm going to get into what I believe to be the reason for the dip that we're experiencing, okay? Ted Thornton says, this is constant monthly buying pressure, no matter the price. Probably the single most bullish thing in crypto. Ted, I agree with you 100%. And I'm really about to drive it home why. I'm more excited for this show than I've been for a show in quite some time. And you know what? I don't know if that's bullish or bearish in itself. But man, I'll tell you, personally, I really am. So, for starters, number one, we had $1.2 billion in liquidations, in long liquidations, and it did not drop us below $112,000 on a daily close. I mean, not yet. Tomorrow's candle still has to close, right? That's why I have a poll up in the chat to see where we think it might go. But so far, we've had a $1.2 billion in long liquidations, and it did not drop us under $112,000. I mean, let's just look at what the percentage drop actually was on this candle here. It was a 2.8% drop. Guys, $1.2 billion in long liquidations, and Bitcoin dropped 2%. Okay, you know why it felt more rough than it really was? Because, come over here to Bitcoin dominance, BTC.D. What you'll find, let me go to the daily. What you're going to find is that Bitcoin dominance on the daily experienced a bullish divergence right here after breaking out of this bear flag. that bullish divergence sent it up above the 21-day moving average, wicking up here to the 50-day moving average. And the MACD, call it by its government name, the moving average convergence divergence, the MACD has been turning bullish for some time now on Bitcoin dominance. However, unless this makes a higher high up here, closing candles above 60%, above 60.14%. I mean, there's an argument to be made that even if it did that, it's still a macro lower high unless it were to get up above 62.5%. So even breaking above 60.14 would still be a macro lower high on Bitcoin dominance. So this is a corrective movement against the primary trend. Okay, what is the primary trend here on Bitcoin dominance? The primary trend is down, right? We've broken through every major moving average. They're all flipping bearish on each other. And look, the stochastic RSI is already overbought on Bitcoin dominance, showing me that this was short-lived. So the way that I knew that is, I was looking last night at Flit Fan, 2.8%, and it drops $3 to $4 grand. How much is it going to cost to get it down to 107K as people feel it will go? I agree with you, Flit. I agree with you. By the way, I don't know if I've seen you before. If I haven't, I just want to invite you to hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and join the Brew Crew, the most hydrated crypto community on YouTube. And sometimes we even do some drunken TA for you. Not financial advice. Good evening, Amelia. So, yeah, so that's number one. Look, last night I was seeing the alerts on CoinMarketCap and Coinbase, and I see Bitcoin down 3%, and I see altcoins down 6, 7, 8, 10%. And that made me think right away, okay, I need to go look at BTC.D. Anytime that you see altcoins reacting much more in much more extreme fashion than Bitcoin, you need to go look at the BTC.D chart and figure out what's going on. So I ran over there, right? Swiftly, I ran over there to see what's going on. And so far, what I'm seeing, guys, is that, a little bit of a dip on Bitcoin means that we're going to get one of these, a Brew Crew bounce, right? a Brew Crew bullish bounce. So guys, right here on Bitcoin dominance, daily cheers, gin and tonic are here. That's why we're the Brew Crew, man, the most hydrated crypto community on YouTube. Sometimes, we do mostly beer, but sometimes Mr. Blanton or Colonel E.H. Taylor make an appearance on the show as well. But hey, if you're a gin and tonic guy, I respect how everyone seeks out their hydration. It's a personal choice. Thanks for the offer, but keep your drink. I get wet enough watching this show. Daily, I love bourbons. Me too, man. Me too. I'm starting my collection. I'm early in starting my collection. I'm not like crazy yet. I've got those two. I've got another Blanton's, another Taylor. I've got obviously Buffalo Trace, Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Select, Four Roses, Woodford Reserve Double Oaked, stuff like that. The next things that I'm going to add, I'm eyeing a Weller Foolproof, the blue label. And I know this is crazy, but it's going to be a bull run purchase. A bottle of George T. Stagg. But yeah, anyways. Off topic, but rare breed rye is on point. Okay. I tried a rye once. that shows you how inexperienced I probably am when I'm like, I've tried a rye once. It was good though. It was good. So Bitcoin dominance, we have a corrective movement against the primary trend, which is bearish, right? In this corrective movement, we have already entered into overbought areas on the stochastic RSI. So I believe that this is going to be short-lived, and that altcoins are going to get a bounce up here sooner rather than later. Now, 1.4 or 1.2 billion dollars in long liquidations, and Bitcoin didn't go below 112. That shows you guys that there is so much buying pressure. That there's so much buying pressure in the market right now that when Bitcoin drops into those, what? Put yourself on the screen.
I blame you, Trent.
Why?
I don't know if you can hear me or not, but you didn't want to put me on the stage for like forever and ever and ever. I was like, Trent, put me on the stage, dang it.
I didn't know you were off.
Yeah.
You think
Yeah.
Penguin says
One
you
second,
think the
honey.
NFT cycle will hit again. Look,
Why
I
is
don't
my
think
camera not
that-
working, though?
I don't think that NFTs are ever coming back the way that they were here before.
What's up, dude?
I don't
I'm
think
trying
that.
to move you over now. Try to figure out why I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
It's a work in progress.
Can you hear me now?
Something's mad with my volume.
Okay, well, I'm gonna take
One
you off so that So yeah, NFTs. I don't think that they're ever coming back the way that they were before. NFTs are going to come back insofar as they have utility, and there will be a little bit of like community hype, but I don't think we're ever going to be, pictures of a monkey going for $1 million again. I think those days are done. Cameron Earth King, always a work in progress. Welcome in to everybody. Again, if this is anybody's first time here, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, join the Brew Crew, the most hydrated crypto community on YouTube, and you'll touch T-Square right in his banana zone, which happens to be his heart. No exactly utility and big licensed IP NFTs perhaps. Exactly. California DMV is just, steps away from like issuing titles, vehicle titles on chain. So yeah, there's a lot there. NFTs are by no means dead. There's too much use case. NFTs are the first example of digital, of unique digital rarity in all of human history. So Daily just tell him to put on a shirt. Yeah, guys. So look, BGC.D. Your mic is not on.
I said, dang it, Trent. I was in the background for like 5 minutes. And I was like, I'm just going to wait to be added back to the stage.
Hey,
What's
I
up?
know
Thank
you were
you.
off.
I had to put a shirt on too because Trent removed me because he said nobody I made people uncomfortable with my masculinity.
I didn't say that.
Well, I know, but that's how when I was reading your lips, that's what it looked like to me. I mean, you probably said something very similar to that, but that's all I was able to get out of it.
So
What
look,
it?
on to the.
I brought this.
Oh yeah.
It's seltzer water because I'm out of beer and I could get a better ASMR pop on it. And okay, now you can have it.
Yeah. So,
no.
oh, rapture tomorrow. No. Look.
No one knows the time of day.
George Eldon Ladd, the most prolific New Testament scholar. I'm a Christian, by the way. I'm a preacher, actually. That's, probably the one thing that I've consistently done professionally for the last 15 years. But George Eldon Ladd, the most prolific New Testament scholar of the 20th century, said this about a pre-tribulation rapture. He said that the idea of a pre-tribulation rapture is the height of speculative nonsense. It's the height of speculative nonsense. I absolutely believe in the second coming of Christ. He's a drinking preacher. I would go to that church. We would welcome you. Yeah, man. I mean, look, Martin Luther was a drinking preacher. His wife ran the family business when he was out reforming the religious landscape of Europe in the 1500s. And the family business was a brewery. real talk. Anyways, so yeah, U.S.
His first miracle was turning water into wine.
Yeah.
Mary knew he could do that because how many other times has he turned water into wine?
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword is the thing. The Proverbs will talk about drinking in a celebratory fashion to enjoy life and the blessings of life, but it will also give warnings. It'll say, hey, when you look at the strong drink in the glass and you see it sparkle in the glass, don't be enticed by it. It'll say strong drink wine is a mocker and strong drink is a brawler, and he who is led astray by it is not wise. So don't be led astray by it. So you guys aren't leaving tomorrow? No, I am absolutely going to be here tomorrow.
What's up, Cameron, Earth King?
Unless I die. So, yeah. So the next reason why I believe we're experiencing this dip on Bitcoin, guys, the U.S. 10-year yield note, the 10-year U.S. Government bonds. So the way that you're going to find this on TradingView, the ticker is US10Y. US10Y. Okay, so what we've seen here is that the US 10-year yield note has rallied over the past several days, despite the Fed cutting rates last Wednesday. Why does this matter? Usually, those two things are correlated. When the effective federal funds rate goes down, when interest rates go down, the US 10-year yield goes down. The amount of money that people are willing to accept as a return on their US government bonds goes down when interest rates go down. However, this time they went up. And that tells us something very important about the economy and about the business cycle. What it tells us is that there is more fear. It tells us that investors have more fear about the strength of the dollar than they do confidence in the Federal Reserve to control inflation. Right? So therefore, the US 10-year yield rallies, and the uncertainty of that, again, risk on markets love what? Certainty. The uncertainty of that produces a dip on risk on assets, on Bitcoin. So, Bitcoin has not yet, sounds crazy because it's over 100K and that was a big milestone, right? But Bitcoin has not yet made its way into the public mind as a hedge against tyrannical government, as a hedge against failing fiat. as a hedge against the world collapsing around us. I do believe that Bitcoin is that hedge. But for right now, the public perception has not caught up to that yet. Not yet. We are still early. We tell you over and over on this channel, we are still early. So the US 10-year yield rallies, and this is inversely correlated. Now, where did the 10-year yield rally to? The 21-day moving average.
The 20-year.
It moved up to the 21-day moving average, which, basic technical analysis, like it is to be determined whether it rejects off of this 21-day moving average, right? So, the stochastic RSI is already overbought. Just like on Bitcoin dominance, the stochastic RSI is already overbought. So, guys, we are getting a little bit of a dip right now as we speak, but that's fine. Moving on over to Bitcoin. So, my basic premise, guys. Bitcoin
I think do you have a thought on RWA play this bull run? I think RWAs will do well this bull run, but I think they're really going to shine next bull run. And I think Ondos is one of the ones that is leading the way in that RWA category.
I'm going to show you in a little bit the lowest cap gem RWA play that I believe is going to boom in this bull run. It's Epic Chain. So, anyways, real quick, here on Bitcoin. So my basic premise so far is that the fear-induced rally on the US 10-year yield correlated with a dump on Bitcoin. My basic premise is that is not sustainable. Is that it will not sustain, and that because of that, this is right here on Bitcoin is a corrective movement against the primary trend, which is up. So we go to Bitcoin, and what we find is this inverse head and shoulders on the daily, right? Now, this is actually, you can see a sort of smaller inverse head and shoulders inside of a larger one, right? That looks like a smiley face now. But outside of that smaller inverse head and shoulders, we pumped up. Once we pumped up and went sideways for a bit, even in this dip, we have now began to fill out a right shoulder of a much larger inverse head and shoulders, right? So I actually need to
need a what?
Erase that smaller one that I drew in here, because I'm not going to be able to stop looking at it. So erase that and erase that. Okay, so we have a inverse head and shoulders here with a measured move coming up to the neckline. At about $130,000. And I believe that this is going to happen by somewhere before mid-October. Somewhere before
mid-October.
Yeah, somewhere before October 30. Somewhere before October 15th. Okay, now, last week on the show, I was thinking that if we broke through the golden pocket, the Fibonacci golden pocket, if we broke that at 118, I thought that we would have gone to 130 by like October 1st. But we did not break through the golden pocket, so I have to say, and we're experiencing this dip, so I may have to say October 15th. But we'll see. I still think it will be sooner than October 15th. Personally. look at the stochastic RSI on the daily. The daily was the only major time frame on the stochastics that was overbought, right? The 4-hour was spent down here. The weekly, let me go to the weekly. The weekly had very low stochastics down here. The daily, in the midst of the 4-hour and the weekly, having low stochastic RSI, meaning it's oversold, the daily remained overbought up here. So something had to happen to make the daily chart line up with the 4-hour and the weekly. And that way we get everything working in confluence. Now that has happened. And it did not take anything crazy for it to happen. So here's my premise, is that if we close a daily candle below 100, about $110,800, then I'm going to say that the inverse head and shoulders is invalidated for the moment until we break back into the pattern and then sort it out from there. But if we break below about $110,800 with a daily close, then I would have to guess that the inverse head and shoulders is invalidated, and we could come as low as 107.
Well, to answer Daily, he said, are we still in the 4-year cycle, prolonged cycle? I think that I'm going to say yes, but I think we're open to having something different, because there are some parabolas that we don't normally have that we have in this cycle, like ETFs and hedge funds getting involved and Bitcoin strategic reserve for the US. So I do think that there are things that can prolong the cycle. I do think also when we get into May and we have Lisa Cooks out and Jerome Powell's replaced, and the Fed's like, hey, Trump's like, let's cut the rates like a mofo. Yeah, that could be really super bullish for the cycles. And should it be at that time frame? No, it shouldn't. Normally we'll be in the bottom of a bear market, or so that would cause us to prolong the 4-year cycle. But there's things that we don't know what we don't know right now. So until it's broken, I would stick to it. I think that we will probably top in December and we can take gains, but we might get a second push, or maybe in a double top. I've heard a lot of people think even a little after that, and that could be when Powell leaves and we get the rates. So it's hard to really say until we get there.
Everything is a game of hedging against risk. So the fact of the matter is that we don't know the future, except that I do know that we're not getting raptured tomorrow. We don't. The fact of the matter is that we don't know the future, and you take profit in a Q4 rally. You take some profits because you're hedging against the risk of a bear market. You keep some in the market because you're hedging against the risk of not being exposed to an extended pump into next year. By the way, my simple answer to this question is that an extended 4-year cycle is still a 4-year cycle. The Bitcoin halving will continue to drive up demand for Bitcoin. And I believe that if we pump into Q1 of next year, that, guys, the debate will not be silenced as to whether cycles are elongating or not, because it won't be so elongated that the strict 4-year cycle guys are totally disproven.
Yeah.
Well, and it also won't be and then also it will be long enough to where the elongated guys are like, see, it's elongated. That argument is still going to happen, right? even if we pump into Q1 of next year. And my most fundamental answer to this is I think that we start seeing cycles within cycles.
Yeah.
And I think that the larger 4-year cycle is still intact, actually. I do. But I think that if Bitcoin drops by 50% sometime next year, that it will recover from a 50% drop much faster than it recovered from a 70% bear market last time. In 2021, during the May crash, Bitcoin dropped 50% and only took 3 months to recover. So it opens the door to smaller cycles within cycles, and that's where I believe we're moving. Personally.
Yeah.
Real quick, and then I'm going to kick it over to you. Maybe you want to prepare your favorite segment before you lead into your charts, and I'm going to finish up my segment here real quick. So, guys, basic premise is that as long as we're closing above $110,800, this inverse head and shoulders is still intact. If we drop to if we do drop to 107, guys, we're still, what that creates is a very strong double bottom down here, and that's still, we still get a bullish recovery from that, in my opinion. Even if we dropped to 100K, I think that would be a really big blow to the Q4 bull run, because we would be falling below the 200-day moving average. I would just have to ask very serious questions about that, unless we wicked off of it and closed above the 200. So, there's my base case, 110,800 or 107. If I'm a betting man, this inverse head and shoulders remains intact. We close candles above 110.8, and we rally to $130,000 by mid-October. So that's my call if I'm a betting man, which I kind of am because I'm in crypto. So,
You're right.
there you go. Kick it on over to you.
Okay, cool. Guys, we're going to come over to my favorite segment.
Thanks for the update, Calvin.
I just wanted to point out, guys, we partnered up with BitFi over here. There's no KYC, no VPN, and you save 20% using our link in the description, yo. If you're new to trading, you can deposit $100, you get a $60 bonus. You can deposit $500, you get a $100 bonus. Deposit $1,000 if you're a little bit more advanced, you get a $200 bonus. And if you're really skilled, you can deposit $5,000 and get a $1,000 bonus. And the trick is to this too, it doesn't have to be Tether. It can be Cardano or XRP, or Cardano and XRP and Polkadot. And if you hit that deposit amount, you get that bonus in the next day or two, and then you can keep your crypto in there, or you can put it back to wherever you had it, and then you have a free trading bonus to play around with, guys. So, you really want to take advantage of this, go for it. And also, we are enticed to help you win your trades because we get little kickbacks on your fees. And so if you go to the Discord in the description, you can literally post your charts, and we can't give you financial advice, but I can help you, give you enough perspective or even confluence on what you're looking at. You're like, hey, this is what I'm looking at. I'm like, oh yeah, I see that too. Or I could be like, you could be like, hey, this is what I'm looking at. And I could be like, well, this and this and this playing out, and this is what I'd be worried about. And I would overlap whatever you're looking at. Market Cipher and Channel gives you the basic TA onto whatever it is. But guys, if you really want to learn how to trade, check out our link. Be very careful. Don't get liquidated, because getting liquidated just sucks, okay? And take advantage of the Discord, because we are there as a community to help each other out and make some money, man. The bull run's on.
Guys, this is free bonus to learn how to trade with. You don't have to trade with your own capital. Just trade with the bonus. You don't have to meet a certain trading volume in order to get the bonus. It's simply a deposit bonus. And if you have at least $100 in your futures account, like T Square is saying, you get access to our VIP trading signals in the Discord. And the bot takes the trading behavior and the coins that are being traded from all of the top ROI traders on the exchange. It aggregates their trading behavior and their signals, and it pumps it out into the Discord as VIP trading signals for you guys. Every day it gives a scalp signal, a market analysis, and a swing signal, sometimes several of them. And
Hey,
guys,
shout out to 458. Guys, we're going to have a party in the Discord for 458 afterwards. So 458, if you
you
want
mean for
480.
yeah.
What was I saying? 458.
458.
I'm still at my work. I got the work numbers in my head still.
Yeah. Guys, so the bot has actually been warning us about this dip for some time. Look, it said next target, mid-range support around $12,500. You know, so, and this was while it was still sitting above 115. So
That's
guys,
what I was thinking. I was in agreement. I'm like, I think we're coming down. I literally posted today, Trent, or no, yesterday in the channel before we had the dump, and I was like, guys, I think we're coming down. We've been saying it all week. I think we're coming down.
yeah. The bot is also showing a long on Doge, a swing long.
Hey, I see you. I am Sam. You just joined the Discord. What is up, man?
And it's showing a long position on DOT. You guys know I hate DOT. We hate DOT on the channel.
We both hate DOT.
We don't hate you making money on DOT. We just hate DOT. And then TA is looking good. I actually, man, I've had a rough couple days trading this shitcoin. TA, it's like number 950 down on the list. And basically, I made a few $100 on it. I'll actually kick this back over to you. I made a few $100 on it. I closed that, and then I took those profits and I re-entered. So I re-entered with only like $300. I got liquidated on that, and I only used the profits that I made, so I was just at break even. But then right when I got the liquidation notice, I went back in. And as it bounced, and then I made the $300 back, and then now I'm like,
I can see that, because you're like bang, you're like making money, you get liquidated, bang, you're making money, you're like, oh, frick, it's killing me right now.
Well, actually, what I'm trying to hold out for, I went back in with another few hundred, and earlier today, and what I'm share the link again. The Discord link is in the description. But what I'm actually holding out for is I want another spike up there to 30 cents. That's what Crypto Face was eyeing. So
dang, dude, that'd be wild.
I know.
that'd be a lot.
I know, but when you're talking about something that's number 1,000 down on the list, it's very much capable of doing that very quickly.
I mean, look at my wife. Not literally looking at her.
Guys, he didn't mean that. That sounded bad. He didn't mean that she's number 1,000 down on the list. She's number 1 on the list to him. But what he meant is that she trades those coins.
Trades them hard, man.
Yeah.
Hard. So we're gonna come over to Bitcoin, okay? So let's go to the 1 hour. 1 hour, I was actually looking at this before you guys joined. Like when you zoom in like this, it looks okay. But when you start stretching it to try to really pull the data, it literally looks like it's breaking down. And if we break down the next range, I'm gonna try to make it a little easier for you guys to see. So we have this little red line right here. I would say the bottom is probably about right here, which is 110,787 until we get in that area. And not only that, but we come over to the liquidation heat map. That's also 111 is where our next little liquidation is, but then we hit the 110 level. I said 110,700. That's literally this invisible little void of no leverage is in there. And we go stretch it out to a week. And look, guys, didn't I tell you there was a fat pocket of liquidations down here for like $500 million? That was a lot, bro. That was a lot. I actually never looked at the history. What the history say? Does it tell
Welcome
you?
in, do not you.
Oh man. I don't know. Actually, what I'm looking at, it just looks bad. Oh, these are liquidations on different coins. I've never actually looked at the history before. I'll play around with this later. But man, I'm telling you what, though, there was a fat pocket of liquidations down there, and I was super antsy about it, bro. I was, man. I've been telling you guys for a while. We might come down and get that last little bit too before we come up. At that 111 level, if we get liquidated, we'll probably force sells, and we get down to that 110. So that's what I would be eyeballing right now. Then we'll probably come up and go after these guys after the shorts, because that's just how it works. So I think we're in the like 110 range. It looks like we're breaking down. We come to the 4 hour. The 4 hour also looks like it's falling down, about a snap down. We have a first little green dot, but the money flows look. We got that first little green dot. I'm assuming from some of the VWAP breaking up, but it's not a strong breakup. So I don't think that I would bet the farm on that, because it's not going to play out. Even though we have double green dots, we have Stokes RSI, R high, and strength kind of wanted to flip, but it's more flirting than it is actually wanting to do it. The 12 hour, we come over to DBSI. We have a 13, so we still have the same momentum we have. The 21 has been a strong curvature down. Blue momentum waves have not bottomed. The money plus still been coming down. Stokes RSI strength has been coming down. VWAP's below the zero line, but starting to make its move, but we haven't completed that trend to that direction yet. You know, I was watching the Lions. Hey, is it Ravens and Lions tonight? Who's winning?
Oh, by the way, guys, I think, I don't know when, and I have to be careful what I say, but I think we're going to have an exciting interview coming up for you guys in the near future. And no, it's not Mr. Armstrong. You know, if that happens, it happens. But it is an exciting one, though. So I'll let you guys speculate on that. But what do you think about that, T-Square? You excited about that?
Oh, I'm very excited about that. It is going to be awesome. So I was actually in the Discord responding to I Am Sam. He's chit-chatting. You should respond to him, Trent, while I go over some Ethereum. Ethereum. How do you guys like longing Ethereum? I never have the best luck longing Ethereum, but I have great luck longing shit coins, though. Wow, that was a good wick down. Okay. 1 hour. We are at 4,160. Well, I can tell you right now, the next move would be 4,000. Are we gonna go down? Didn't Tom Lee say we're not gonna go break 4,000 again, Trent?
No.
But Tom Lee said that. Tom Lee said that we're not gonna go down to 4K ETH.
I don't think we will. I don't think we will.
I was saying that's the next. That would be like the next bottom, like right there.
Yeah,
that's about $180. The 4 hour looks pretty good though on Ethereum. Strength Stokes are good. Curving up. Money flow is like at a bottom, bro. And we had the same problem earlier on Bitcoin. The VWAP's not a strong VWAP coming up, so it's something just to take for granted. Not too for granted. Man, we break below this. We have like a hair, like a 4120, and it's psychological, dude. We might just wick below it, just wick. I mean, the thing with Tom Lee's bet, Trent, besides 4K being such a strong psychological level, the literal next resistance is like 38.69. And I'm not gonna lie, I could see us wick down there to that range if Bitcoin falls to 2K. I think ETH could fall $200. I think it is possible. Strength Stokes, RSI coming down, money flow still looks like it's coming down. Blue momentum have not clipped yet, and the 21 is curving down on the 12 hour and the daily. The daily looks pretty bad. The daily looks like a freaking open doors to the downside. Money flow. This is a kind of interesting thing too with Market Cipher, guys. This is like a very powerful tool if you learn how to catch it with your eyes. Look at the money flow. We peaked right here, and it's been coming down slowly, which is like the people interacting, like Ethereum fees and stuff like that you need ETH to interoperate. So it's been coming down. Now we might come down, clip, and then come back up, but the current trend has been down, and we have this open door to the downside right there on the blue momentum waves. We have strength right here. It's pointing down. We have Stokes RSI right there, also pointing down, also high, saying that they're coming down too. How do I fix that? There we go. So it's just something, man, to keep an eye on. And that is the next area of support is this little box right here. So, and I don't think Ethereum will come down to $3,500. I just don't.
Yeah.
I think the 4K level is pretty strong psychological, and that's right here, and we're pretty close. But if we break 4K, we'll definitely come into this range. That is for sure.
The for me on my end, the stochastic.
He sold his wife.
For me on my end, the stochastic RSI is like at 0 on Ethereum on the daily. So there's that, and for me, the VRVP says that if we lose 4,000, we come to 39.11.
Well,
so
that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so Swee's kind of in the same boat. It's not as actually as an ugly chart as ETH is. And I'm just saying that because ETH is like breaking down right now, and it's pretty visible. I mean, I really stretch it, I can kind of really make it look like that, but now I'm manipulating the data to what I'm showing. The one thing I kind of like that we have going on for Sweet is this is the 21 MA. This is just the 1 hour, and we are starting to curve up. The DBSI.
This guy sold his wife.
must not have been a good wife. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Daily. We went from a 10, 16, 12. So -5, -4 doji candle. It's trying to break up. Okay.
Daily was in it for those wife changing games.
Yeah. What's that thing? It was like, remember that old reality TV show, like Wife Swap, and they swap wives with different like cultures.
These days he swaps and then finds out that
my wife's not happy.
Finds out that the new wife is a man.
My wife's an addict for memes, man. When we first got into him, I was like I felt like 200-300 million market cap for like Turbo was like that's pretty small. Like, and it's not like bonk, right? But then my wife's like, no, I want to go smaller. And now she's in like 10K in market cap. So, yeah, to 100K, that's easy, quick move.
I'm not being a buzzkill when I say this, but I'm just being honest about who I am. And I'm the joking is all fun and dandy, but this is just for me and how I live my life, okay? But 1 Peter 3, the Lord says, honor your wife, lest your husbands honor your wives, lest your prayers be hindered. And so I'm like, I'm not talking about the joking. I'm just saying, like, no, I love my wife, and even more than I love my wife, I love the Lord, and I don't want my prayers to be hindered.
Hey, you know what Charlie Kirk says? God, family, and freedom.
Yeah, that's the point.
So I'm gonna jump over to Sweet. Sweet's actually one of the better looking charts. We have a doji candle, so that means a trend reversal. Stokes RSI strength, they are curving down, but they're not in a terrible position, to be honest with you. And we do kind of have a double green dot anchor trigger wave set up. We haven't fully formed the trigger wave. VWAP starting to curve up. Money flow is still playing against us, but that is one more positive thing that we have going on for us versus like Ethereum. Now we stretch it out to the 4 hour. The 4 hour starts the doji candle. The DBSI actually gained some strength to a 10, 18. It's probably why we have the doji candle. The 21 did make a leg in death cross, which isn't the best sign. And the money flow still looks coming down. And the VWAP's not showing like a good girthy momentum to the upside. Though we do have some strength at Stokes and
girthy, he said.
What? I'm being honest, but the Stokes RSI strength is starting to plateau, which is not a bad thing to see on the 4 hour. The 12 hour still, I think we have for Sweet as a possibly 223 level as the last support before we decide if we want to break down. I'm looking at it a little zoomed out. We do kind of have like a falling wedge that we've been playing into, and I don't necessarily think that we really have broke it yet. We've been bouncing back and forth. on it. You know, we come up, we actually broke above it, but then we broke back into it. But we didn't break below it. Then we broke slightly above it. Now we came back down. Now we slightly broke below it. You know, you can see this pattern, and we haven't fully, you know, broken down. But I do think tomorrow it looks like a red day, but short term, with the 1 hour, it looks a little bit more positive, but the 4 hour does look not great. So I don't know, man. It's not giving clear pictures. I would feel more bullish short term, and long term, I would be hoping the 1 and 4 hour could flip the 12 hour, but we haven't got the 1 hour yet. So it's kind of like one of those things. Also, you're kind of playing against the market where you got like Ethereum and Bitcoin that kind of like to lead the way. One of the ones, if you want to look into a trade, I'd actually try to find something that is going against the trend right now. So we're on the weekly, so I can check out the daily. I have no idea what this is, but it popped up. That's only been up for the day, so I would definitely not trade that. But you know, the day you got AVAX, man, up 10%. So that's something that's kind of going against the trend. So if I was looking to trade, that's something I would hit up. You might be able to also catch a little bit of mantle, you know, if it's for some continuation. Or what you could also do is check out what's in the shitter, I guess you could say. So you got fund down 10%. Well, you know, you could check it out like the monthly. We're down to this little lower trend level. You know, I'd actually think we might come down to almost another 10%. At least probably come down here on pump.fund. So you might be even catch a little bit of more of a short on that. What's Will Libertyfy at? Not got enough information on there. What's CFX Complex? I don't know what Complex is. Mutable X. I wouldn't trade. You might be able to get. It's really interesting to see AVAX pumping and Mutable X dumping because I put both of those in the gaming sector. You know, let's throw up AVAX. Take a quick peek at what we got going on for AVAX. So we jump on over to AVAX. So there you go, a good pump on AVAX, and it literally played out with the rest of the whole market, and then just reversed. Like the VWAP, man. See, that's what we want to see is a stronger breakup in the VWAP, and we haven't really seen that in a lot of different timelines. The momentum on the blue wave looks good. Strength Stokes RSI looks good. DVSI went from a 23 to a 22, which is fine. We're having a strong break above the 21. Hopefully, if we can get the close on here, which we only got 18 minutes left, which is a really good sign to see. The 1 hour, we are technically higher than where we're at, so that would be considered a higher high. I would be thinking, so I'm in the 1 hour, right? Well, I see all these candles over here, and I see this. My hopes would be not to get a double top. That's the only thing that I would be thinking about. So if you stretch out to like the 8 hour and 12 hour, you could have a trend reversal where we actually start breaking up, or you get a double top and then you break back down and it's just a fake out. Good thing that we do got going for us is the VWAP is breaking up on the 12 hour. We do have a green dot, which I guess that confirms the morning while we're all sleeping. And the Strength Stokes RSI is coming up. So that's not bad, actually. This is actually looking pretty good. It's pretty spicy. The 4 hour looks like continuation. So, yeah, if it continues, how far back do I have to go? Excuse me. I'm at $36 to. We'll play in the range of 41 to 36 for a possible next move for AVAX. Ouch. That's not bad. Hey, my DGen play on LVVA. I got 1K in it, and I'm doing writing to the top of the bull run cycle. Make it or break it. Hey, what's LVVA, Trent?
I don't know.
What's LVVA? LVVAU. Oh, there it is. Well, it looks pretty spicy. Just the 4 hour, it'll shoot up to 12 hour. It's been falling. Does look like a double bottom. It does kind of look like a double bottom. So that's not bad VWAPs. It says it's coming down more. We did make a death cross on 12 hour. The VWAP's not super bad. Strength down Stokes, RSI, momentum wave kind of coming down. What's the market cap of LVVA? Does this thing this thing falls hard and it rises hard? It's kind of like one of those ones. Macro 2 mil. Just came in and link short entry. Oh, interesting, Ted. I just put a short in on BNB while Trent was talking. Well, it's at some sort of premium price, like last resistance right here. If it breaks this, I think the next level LVVA's eyeballing could be 003. 003. Plumes up on the 1 hour. Double green dot, snake eyes. That's not bad. Bounce off this local level we drew whenever last time we were here. The money flow still looking the red though, but that's not a bad entry point for a plume. We break that. We have like it's not bad, dude. Plume's not bad for an entry point. What you got going on, Trent? You want to cover Cardano Spotlight?
Sure. Yeah, I think we're about rounding that time. Not because we don't have more to talk about, but just because I think we had a really good show today. I think we packed in a lot of information in the show today, packed in a lot of value, and I'm happy with that. I think that's where we need to be. I think we got a little bit closer, to the goalposts of like where.
It's nice to have a good show when you have like a couple of shows and you're like, it's slow tonight.
Yeah. So let me hop on over here to.
And I'm hungry, and I worked a 14-hour day and almost a 16-hour with the commute. And my wife's looking at me. She's going, "Husband, I have not seen you."
If you want to hop off while I do Cardano Spotlight, I'll do the sign off, but I'll literally be 2 minutes. So.
I'll wait.
Okay. Let me see here.
I mean, she'll wait.
Sorry, Sarah. How about this? 3 rules for surviving crypto. Never go all in. Always have a plan. Touch grass. It's actually pretty good. Not gonna lie. So get some tippity tap tools up here. And I don't know why, but when I go to media assets in StreamYard, it won't let me scroll up and down unless I literally get out of the.
Did you see that Anthony Scaramucci is a strategic advisor for AVAX?
I did not.
Yeah, he's as of 10 hours ago.
Can you change the banner for me? For some reason, my cursor won't do it. The page is stuck on my end. Anyways. Cardano Spotlight.
I don't even have the banners.
You don't?
They're not there.
Well, I mean, they've got to be there. You go to media assets, like.
Yeah, media assets, and they usually are under more or backgrounds.
Oh. That's so strange, though, because why is the one that we have up?
I don't know. That's a computer thing.
Yeah, it's got to be a glitch. Anyways, we'll look at it for tomorrow. So, tap tools. What we have going on over here, just in, SNEC, 5 million ADA treasury loan has surpassed $3 billion ADA in yes votes. So meaning the total amount of ADA that's staked into staking pool nodes that voted yes for this top over 3 billion ADA. And there's the vote is split 55% yes and 44% no. So I actually think that the way that they're going to end up doing this is really cool. So Snek, if you don't know, Cardano's leading meme coin, is asking, by the way, Cardano on-chain governance, fully on-chain governance. There's two things that Cardano has. Actually, there's more than two things, but there's two major things that Cardano has that no other coin in the top 20 have. And that's liquid staking and on-chain governance. Actually, I would venture to say, and I could be wrong about this because I haven't really looked at it outside of the top 20, but I would venture to say that the only other coin in the top 60 or so that have liquid staking and on-chain governance is Algorand. And I'm not quite sure that Algorand has the same level of on-chain governance. I know it has truly liquid staking. There's no lockups. But yeah, man. Algorand is Algorand and Cardano are more similar in a lot of ways than they are different. The transaction model is different. In that regard, Cardano is more similar to Bitcoin than any other than any other coin out there in terms of its transaction model. It's UTXO, unspent transaction output model. It's the same transaction model that that Bitcoin operates on, which is why native Bitcoin can be used on Cardano DeFi. So, anyways.
No, not bad. Both that they think the bottom is at 107 with 37% and 30 votes. Thank you guys for your votes.
Well, I'm still calling that 110.8. So we'll see.
I think 110.8. I'm in that ballpark too.
Yeah. And I say that with the caveat that it could very well be somewhere in between 110.8 and 112. That's a really close range, you know. Just in, ADA has surpassed 114 million transactions on mainnet. ADA is pressing against key resistance, forming an ascending triangle on the daily chart. A breakout above 95 cents could open the path toward $1.20. $1.20, by the way, I believe is the bull market door for Cardano. You break $1.20, you go to $2.
Very, $2 chuck.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, so I'll leave it there for right now. But you know, Snek right now is demonstrating the power of Cardano's on-chain governance. Snek is paying for listings on major exchanges, and it is borrowing money from the Cardano treasury to do so. The treasury is in complete control of the community. So this is a very primitive act of fully on-chain governance for Cardano, where the community is voting to give Snek this money. However, they're voting to do it in the form of a loan. So Snek will owe this money back to the treasury, and in the long term, the treasury does not just give the money away and take the hit. So I think that sets a standard for that now sets a standard for any other project that seeks to ask money from the treasury. So pretty cool stuff.
Yeah,
and
that is.
We can go ahead and sign off.
All right, sounds good. Guys, if you haven't, smash that golden like button. Thank you for the support. Don't smash it down, but smash it up because I was able to show up. Heck yeah, man. just a little late, smash it like that, and then we have a subscribe bell. It'd be ring a ding ding, and you ring a ding ding, and you find in those words over there on YouTube, and over there on Kick and Rumble. And we always have to ask because YouTube gets really finicky, but over there on Rumble, we just grow, and Kick, we just grow naturally. It's the most beautiful relationship I've ever had with the internet. And hey guys, we'll be back tomorrow. Trying to be here in the morning or no?
Tomorrow I should, yeah.
We'll be here tomorrow morning, 11 a.m.
11-ish.
11-ish
That
a.m.
could be 10:30. That could be. Keep an eye on it. I'll
put a
post
link in the Discord.
Yeah.
And then we'll be back for our evening show. Hopefully, I will be here earlier. And you guys stay blessed. Have a good night. We'll be back tomorrow. All right, later. Deuces. I can't believe you didn't like your beer, Trent. That's crazy.
Well,